Hey guys, hey, what's up? This is Mike from Budget Tech Reviews, and we are live. And I wanted to get this is kind of like a late night talk session, I guess. It's Saturday night, it's midnight, so I don't even know if I'm going to get any viewers. The individual, I got one viewer. Hey, individual, what's up? Give me one sec, bro. I'm going to tweak the lighting here. I think it's too bright, or maybe not bright enough. Let's see. Okay, well, anyway. What's up, Rob? Wow, okay, so you guys are tuning in already. Great. So the reason why I wanted to do this live stream is because there's a few things that I've been kind of thinking about this week, and I want to kind of get y'all's input, but I also want to have a discussion on it also if you guys are willing to chat with me this late. But basically, I am on board about. Can you guys hear me, by the way? Let me get my microphone closer. There we go. I forgot this thing was like way back there. There you go. Should I move it over here maybe? Let's see. There you go. Okay, I'm just going to kind of leave it right there. I'm playing a game, so I may not chat too much. Oh, Rob, come on, man. That's all right, dude. Don't worry. I mean, I understand people have it's late, so, understandable. But awesome individual. You can hear me, okay? Great. Okay, so the reason why I wanted to do this live stream again is because all week, if you guys have been following my YouTube channel, I've been kind of updating my PC, right? Which again is an old E-Machines computer that I purchased from Walmart back in 2009. So I recently upgraded the CPU in it. I also put in an SSD, and then I also am going to put in a new GPU or graphics card, whatever you want to call it. So far that CPU that I purchased is very it's very snappy and it's quick, but the thing is I don't think it's mixing well with the motherboard that computer has. Even though it's compatible, the motherboard is getting really hot, and so is the fan is also speeding up extremely fast when I'm just doing like just basic stuff. So I actually ordered another CPU that has lower wattage. It's not as fast, I guess. It's a dual core instead of a quad core, but the wattage on it is a little lower. So I'm gonna hope that reduces the fan speed. Obviously, it's gonna reduce performance on it, but I don't know. We'll see. Liquid cool it, Rob. Well, I mean, I put in what do they call it, like that heat sink or whatever on it. So I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I think the fan does a great job, like at what it's supposed to be doing. I don't know if I want to do anything else as far as like upgrading it by like liquid cooling it or whatever like that. I don't know. But again, I don't think that CPU is probably as compatible with it as I thought it was going to be. Again, it runs great, but I feel like the fan's going to explode. So again, it's been fun kind of tweaking and messing with that computer all week since I've been, getting the parts for it. And I'm going to make another video once the GPU comes in, which is like an AMD Radeon graphics card. It's like a 1 gigabyte. It cost me like $10 on eBay. So again, a lot of these upgrades are really cheap, guys. But moving forward, I want to get into talking about like that Galaxy phone that explodes. Yeah, like I don't want my computer to explode, so that's why I still am getting an upgraded CPU on that, by the way, because the original one was only a single core, so this one's going to be a dual core, and it's going to be clocked at like 2 point something gigahertz. It's still a lot higher than the original CPU. I think it's actually like 2.8 or 2.9. The quad core CPU is a 2.4, so the gigahertz thing or whatever you want to call it, it's a lot higher, I think. But again, it's a dual core, and the wattage on that CPU is a lot lower. I think it's calculated at 45 watts, and that motherboard is designed to basically output a low wattage on performance type stuff. So I'm hoping that it works and that it's still a good upgrade. But okay, so let me fix my glasses because I feel like they're always crooked, even though they're probably not. Okay, so I'm glad I have at least two people with you. Where's my guys? Where are my people from like the other side of the world, right? So the reason why I'm doing this video again is just to get your opinion on whether you guys would rather have a PC or a Mac, And of course, I am kind of getting on board and ordering or ordering the parts to build what's called a Hackintosh, guys. Okay. So a Hackintosh is basically just a custom PC built that is running uh, Mac OS software, basically. And the reason why I want to do this is because I follow another YouTube channel called Snazzy Labs. I'm sure if you guys haven't heard of it, check it out. The guy that makes the videos on there does a really great job putting his videos together, and I hope to have or be on his level when it comes to posting stuff like that. But again, so Rob, you tell me why you'd rather choose a PC over Mac. Obviously, if it's for gaming, that's understandable. For me right now, I would rather use a Mac only because, again, I've used Mac over the past couple of years. And don't get me wrong, I grew up with Windows. I grew up with Windows and Mac, but I primarily used Windows PCs growing up until I was probably uh, out of high school and going to college. But the reason why people are really against Mac, and I can see why, are because first of all, you don't have a lot of options when it comes to Mac, especially the hardware. Basically, if you're buying a laptop or the MacBook Pro, you're going to spend least of $1,000. Okay, so the price point of Macs are really expensive. Okay, the computer that I'm streaming on right now is actually a MacBook Pro, a mid 2014 model with Retina display. It's a 13-inch. It's not the 15-inch. I didn't see the point in getting the huge one. But again, ever since I started using Macs, I've just kind of grown to the Mac ecosystem. But again, it's really up to the user. I can still use Windows computers. You can definitely tell a difference. Like I've had this computer for again, it's already mid 2018, so I've had this computer for a solid 4 years already. And I don't remember if I bought it in mid 2014 or early 2015, but it's the mid 2014 model. It was before another version of it's the model before the MacBook Pros with the USB Type C came out. But anyway, this one has like Thunderbolt. It has HDMI. It has like two or three USB 3.0 USB slots. And it just has a lot of little features. It has an SD card reader also. It has a lot of little features that I like over the current Mac lineup because the new Macs have like USB Type C, and you have to basically have like a dongle for all those little things that you want to use, like USB Type C. If I want to use an HDMI or an external monitor for it, I have to buy like a separate dongle for it, and it's just really annoying. Right now, again, if you've watched my previous videos, you see that I have like kind of like a dual monitor setup. So I really like this MacBook Pro, but at the same time, again, I'm leaning towards building a Hackintosh for various reasons. One thing is, I think this MacBook Pro is already getting a little bit outdated when it comes to what it has as far as its internals. But at the same time, I also do video editing. So I kind of want to tweak around on what I can what a custom Hackintosh will do for me as far as rendering times, exporting times, etc. like that. But I really just want to kind of get into the customization of it and the fact that if I want to, I can just change out a part in it to make it go faster, make it go slower, or whatever. And the fact that you can spend less than basically like between $300 and $500, and you can still get really good performance out of it, opposed to buying a $5,000 Mac or an iMac and just having basically the same performance but with less price, basically. And yes, you're not going to get the MacBook logo on it or whatever like that, but that's not something that I really care about. It's more about use. And the cool thing about building a custom Hackintosh is I can actually run Windows on it as well if I wanted to. So I can run I can dual boot it. I can put another hard drive in there, and I can boot it to run OS X if I wanted. And that's the cool thing about it. Like right now, SSDs are so cheap that I could buy two of them, like two 120 gig SSDs, and I can have one that runs OS X and the other one that runs Windows 10 Pro. Okay. So I can have the most of best worlds in one computer. But again, a lot of people do this with MacBooks also. They can run Parallels or do whatever and run Windows 10 on their computer. Okay, hold on. Rob Crabtree says, Windows 7 Home Premium is my city. My parents bought this one like 8 years ago, and I kind of use it now. What version of Mac would you get for it? I mean, I would install the latest version of Mac, which was Mac OS 10 Sierra, basically. So like the Mac I'm currently using runs High Sierra. And again, just to give you kind of a glimpse of the specs, it's running a 2.6 gigahertz Intel i5 processor, dual core. It has 8 gig of RAMs, clocked at 1600 megahertz, and it's DDR3 RAM. So I think now there's like DDR5 RAM. But again, it really just depends. Like the computer or the Hackintosh that I want to build is going to have DDR4 RAM, so it's a little more updated when it comes to that. What's up, Reese? If I got a Mac, it would be a Mac Mini. Okay, Rob. So let me go over Mac Minis really quick now that you're talking about it. And Reese, the motherboard that I would actually get with this Hackintosh if I decide to build it, and I already have the stuff set up on my Amazon cart. I just need to order it. It would be a Gigabyte GA H110M-A, which is it's compatible with the processor that I'm going to get. And it's a micro ATX board, which it's compatible with the specific size towers. I'm gonna get a 650 watt, basically a power unit or a power supply, which is probably more than what I need, but it's like the cheapest one on Amazon right now. I think the 400 watt that I was gonna get was like maybe like $30, and 650 watts opposed to 400 watt, it's a no-brainer. I'm going to get the one that's going to output more power, so that if I decide to upgrade it a little later on, when it comes to more power, whether it be a GPU or something, then I'll have the wattage. Okay. But again, let's see, Reese running Windows 7 is kind of old, Reese, but I still see a lot of people using it. Even though it came out in 2007 or 2008. It's a good OS though. It's very solid. I don't think they're putting out updates for it anymore. I know there's probably a newer version of Windows 10. But again, I don't know, it's just whatever, I guess. I recently bought a Dell, what is it called? A Dell Optiplex 160, which is like a little mini server type computer, and it came with a 200 gig hard drive and 4 gigs RAM, and it is running Windows 7 Pro on it. So I do plan to do a video on that just to kind of show you guys. It has an Intel Atom processor, but again, anyways, who has 2 years to use it? Okay, so anyway, that was from Rob. It says got 2 years to use it. So I don't know if that's because Windows 7 is going to stop throwing out updates for that specific OS, which is not a surprise. Windows XP stopped throwing out updates a long time ago. I remember Windows XP was a lot of favorite people's OS at the time as well, because it was very customizable as well. But again, let's go back to the Mac Mini. I know Rob said that he would get a Mac Mini. So I actually owned a Mac Mini, okay? The Mac Mini was actually the first Mac that I ever bought, and then a year and a half later, I ended up getting a MacBook Pro. The reason why I upgraded from a Mac Mini was because the Mac Mini had internally it had an old school whatever, it didn't have an SSD. It had kind of like your old school hard drive, I guess, which was probably the size of a laptop hard drive, which is just a regular SATA hard drive. But again, the one that I had bought was actually the 2012 version, which was actually very upgradable at the time. And I didn't really realize it until later on that I could have just upgraded it by getting an SSD. And I had the one thing that I did upgrade in that Mac Mini was the RAM. So originally it had 4 gigs of RAM, and I upgraded it to 8 gigs. So the performance on it actually went from here to here really quick, just in updating the RAM. But I kind of regret selling it. I think I ended up selling it to a friend locally, and I don't know what he did with it. He might still have it. I don't know. I might actually ask him if he has it so that I can buy it back, so I can maybe kind of tweak around with it also. But again, it was a nice little computer. A lot of people use it to buy server or to just do a lot of little things with it. And a lot of people kind of highly regard that version of the Mac Mini as the best version of the Mac Mini. Now the latest version of the Mac Mini, which costs $1,000, it's not updated. It doesn't have anything. The one The one I bought had the i5 processor, which was the dual core. There was an i7, which was a quad core, which was very, again, highly regarded at the time. Excuse me. And a lot of people actually bought the i7s, and the performance of the i7s was actually really good. I kind of regret not getting the i7 Intel processor with it, but it was like at the time, I think when I bought the Mac Mini, it was like I got it on sale. It was like maybe $450 or something like that, and the i7 version of it cost like 650. So there, it was like a $200 price difference. And I didn't really want to waste the money on performance that might have been significantly better. But now I kind of regret it. But because now if you even buying those used will run you between like $700 and $900. But the cool thing about that is a lot of people already spec them out so that they're already ready to go. Okay, so that's the cool part about that. And it is not an Apple TV. Okay, a lot of people use them for stuff like media servers and stuff like that, where they can run Spotify or Pandora, or just save all their HD movies, and they actually just have it plugged in underneath their TV, which is cool because you can connect it to like a big flat screen TV. I think I had it connected to my 50-inch TV that I used to have, and I was able to just use it from there. Just get a wireless keyboard and mouse, and you'll be able to sit down on your couch and just mess around. But again, yeah, they look similar, but Mac Minis are a lot bigger than Mac TVs or whatever, or Apple TVs, excuse me. Yeah, so again, Rob Crabtree, Microsoft is going to start supporting Windows 7 in 2020, which is not a surprise. I mean, again, there's already been like two or three version of Windows since Windows 7. You had Windows 8, which is like a complete failure, Windows 8.1, which was also a complete failure in my opinion, and Windows 10, which is a little better, but it still has kind of like things that look like it was like from Windows 8 that I really didn't like the start menu button. If you click it, it has all those nasty like window tiles that I'm just really have never been a fan of. And it's just been, Windows 10 Professional is a lot better though, or in my opinion, it is. I think it gets the job done, especially if you want to like play PC games and stuff like that. It's pretty much the standard now. But again, you can still run Windows 7, no problem. But again, once games start getting different and whatnot, it's gonna be a completely different ball game, guys. In the next couple of years, once people start upgrading their CPUs and GPUs and all of that. But again, going back to my Hackintosh build, so I'm trying to limit myself to under $300, and right now I'm at on my shopping cart right now. I am actually at $219.96. That, and I haven't even added I didn't like Windows 8.1, man. I'm sorry, but again, I still need to add look for a tower for this computer, which I can get one for like $20. But I don't want one that has USB 2.0. I want USB 3.0 and up. Like I think that USB 3.0 is like the standard now. USB 2.0 is, even though it's really old technology. I can't believe I'm saying that, right? I mean, but it's a technology that you can really tell the difference when transferring files from a USB or an external hard drive when it comes to USB 2.0 and 3.0. And I use external SSDs at times. And right now I actually have an external solid state drive that it's only about 240 gigs, but it gets the job done. And I cannot complain. Like the transferring speed and the exporting and importing, whatever, the speed is amazing. And again, this is on my 4 years old MacBook Pro. Okay. So you dropped your laptop that had Windows 8.1 and it fell apart. What did you do, Rob? Okay. So it's Saturday night, and again, I don't know. I don't know how long I'm going to run this live stream, but I kind of just wanted to talk about the Hackintosh builds and kind of like the benefits of it, I guess, because again, first of all, Mac OS just runs so much more smoothly than Windows. I mean, Windows now, it's gotten a lot better. Don't get me wrong, but like, I compare it with Android and iPhone because, like, there are some top tier Android phones that run really good. And right now I have an iPhone, and obviously I have the iPhone 10, which is the newest model, obviously. But again, I've gone from Android to Apple phones and back and forth. And, one reason why I went back to Apple recently was because of the fluidity of the device. Okay. So right now, my MacBook Pro, which again, it's 4 years old, it still runs great, guys. Like I can move from, app to app, or I can move stuff around, and there's virtually little lag when I have to like open up a new tab on like my Chrome, or I'm downloading stuff, or something is installing. It runs really quick. That's the reason kind of why I want to run Mac Sierra or whatever on a Hackintosh, so that I can have that fluidity and I can have the performance of that. But again, if I decide to, I can just again add another SSD and start running Windows 10 Pro on it and just go back and forth. It's really no biggie. Okay, I can have Mac OS as my master and the other one as my slaves. So it's really no biggie. I mean, I do plan to kind of get creative with that a little bit. So Rob Crabtree saying Mac costs too much for me. Okay, so let me kind of go over that really quick, and I'm gonna get some water because I'm dying of thirst. Okay, so hope you guys like my shirt, by the way. Old school, right? Okay, so I got 4 people watching. So if you haven't said hi already, say hi. Get involved in the chat. I will respond to you for the most part. I'm pretty good at responding. It's kind of hot in my room. I don't know what's going on here. I kind of want to turn on the window unit, but I kind of don't. But I'll just why waste energy, right? So Apple is expensive. Okay, I'm not gonna disagree there. Okay, like their phones, their products are super expensive. Okay. The reason why they're so expensive, though, to me, is because they work and they don't really. They have a less. They are less prone to messing up, is what I'm trying to say. So, again, I've had this MacBook Pro for 4 years. I have not had any issues with it. I think I've only like reset it once, like which is like basically like deleting the hard drive and just formatting it, starting from scratch, because like I wanted to make room for more stuff, and I didn't feel like going through everything and deleting stuff one by one. So I literally just wiped the drive and I reinstalled Mac OS, and it runs just fine now. So again, obviously you don't have to really worry about viruses when it comes to Mac software. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I don't know. I've never had any issues. I don't have to have an antivirus software either. Like that's something I don't have to worry about as well. Security on it is a little different. Obviously, you have to have an Apple ID. If you lose your laptop or phone, you have the Find My iPhone or Find My MacBook option there as well. Does this look good? I like this microphone, by the way. I might use it for all my live feeds from now on, guys. So Rob Crabtree saying I had to save up $100 for a dollar laptop. What? Okay, I had to save up for $100 laptop from a pawn shop. I have an antivirus called Common Sense. Okay, so if you're running a laptop or a Windows computer, like again, I don't have anything against it. Right now I'm still trying to fix up that old PC that is running Windows 10 Pro right now. I'm waiting for that that other CPU to come in or GPU to come in, and then the CPU, and then I'll see how it runs. But I actually might replace the motherboard in it, because there's actually an updated version of that computer that has a motherboard that actually is compatible with DDR3 RAM. And again, it probably, even though it probably takes the same wattage as far as like the motherboard goes from the actual power supply, if I can upgrade the RAM and the CPU performance wise, like I wouldn't have to worry about buying like another PC for like another 5 or 10 years. Like it'll get the job done. What's up, Daniel P? It's also no download. I don't know what it's also no download means. Okay. But anyway, you can elaborate on that. But again, I want to build this Hackintosh because I'm very, curious on just to see how it will perform. You know what I mean? And if it doesn't work out as a Hackintosh, I could always just use it again as, a PC build or a budget PC build that I can have, and maybe I can sell the other e-machines for parts or whatever. Maybe I'll do a giveaway. Probably not, because those computer parts are a lot of money, and I don't want to just give something like that away. But I would be willing to sell it to one of my fans if they're interested in buying an upgraded e-machine computer. Okay, so I'm getting a text message from a friend. The Browns don't want Dez Bryant. LOL. Good. We're talking about football, but anyway. So Rob Crabtree saying you don't have to download it, and then you're asking how much? How much for what, Rob? If you're asking me a question, how much for what? Are you asking how much to custom build a Hackintosh or a PC in general? I mean, because you can get the parts really cheap, honestly. Like from what I'm seeing, you can build a nice little budget computer for less than a couple $100. One that'll probably outperform like a lot of computers that are actually being sold like at Best Buy. So the upgraded e-machine computer, I don't know. I mean, if anything, if I were to sell it, I'd probably let it go for like, I don't know, maybe like 150 to $200 because I am putting money into it. I mean, I did update the SSD. It has an SSD, which I spent like $70 on. The processor chip, again, cost me money. I'm updating a GPU in it. I'm going to put a wireless LAN card also so that it can get wireless internet, so I don't have to be directly connected, so I can move it anywhere. But again, those are just little options that I'm kind of opting for. It's not something that you really need in a computer. If you connect via manual or wired connection, that's okay also. It has that option. It has the internal graphics as well. I've heard about stick PCs. Pen drive PCs to be exact. I've actually run certain OSs off pen drives. So, if you guys are familiar with like pen drive Linux, which is a version of Linux that you can just run off of USB. I have like a 64 gig USB that I have sitting around that I could probably install like a pen drive Linux on, and I can run an operating system just off that alone. And I have an older computer again that I plan to maybe kind of tweak around with and see what I can download on it. So again, right now I purchased a Dell Optiplex 160, which is like a little server PC. It's like one of those little dummy PCs that you'll see like use that in retail stores, for people, and they run off networks. But this one actually has a hard drive, and it's running Windows on it. So it has 4 gigs of RAM, 1.6 gigahertz like dual core processor. Slow as hell, but it's actually pretty nifty little computer that I got for $20. So who knows? Maybe I might do a giveaway on that one. That one's actually a little nifty PC, and it's running Windows 7 Pro, so I can't complain there. You said most of them are more powerful than mine. Well, it really depends on those little stick PCs. I mean, a lot of the times, like, if you want to run like an OS off a pen drive, you can buy a really old hardware PC, like the e-machine computer that I have. You can buy an old computer like that for like used on eBay or Amazon or something like that for like less than $100. And again, all you have to do is just update little things on it, like the CPU. And again, if you don't want to waste money on a hard drive, you can just boot it off a memory stick. Basically, it's really not difficult. If people really like to mess around with software, I actually used to run Ubuntu off a laptop a netbook that I used to have, and that netbook, which was like really old school at the time. This was like back in 2000 and like I don't remember. Probably 2011, 2012 when I had that netbook, and it was an Acer brand also, by the way. And it was so tiny. It was like one of the first little netbooks that came out. I bought it at Walmart also. It was like $200, I think. It was running Windows 7 for a while, and then after a while, like the performance on it was like horrible because I think it only had like 1 or 2 gigs of RAM. I think it only had 1 gig of RAM, if I'm not correct. I don't even have that anymore though. But again, like it ran horribly with Windows 7. It just really wasn't optimized to run Windows 7 on it, even though it came with Windows 7. So I did a weird thing, and I installed Ubuntu, which is a version of Linux. It's like a free version. It's freeware for people that are not aware of it. And Linux has it's useful to people that don't want to waste money on operating systems. Obviously, I mean, if I wanted to, I can install Ubuntu on that as well, and it would probably run super amazing. the only thing about Ubuntu is like your programs are very limited to running specific types of software on it. I remember using like Firefox or Chrome or whatever like that because Mozilla Firefox is like a product of Linux or whatever. But again, yeah, I had a netbook. Okay, so um, it was really it ran very good with Ubuntu running on it, and it updated constantly. It it was better than what I thought it would have been, and I actually ended up having a few more years of life on it because of that. So if Windows 7 isn't doing that for you, man, and you want to try something different, look up Pendrive Linux or look up Ubuntu and bootload it, and you can actually partition your hard drive to run it, and you can still have Windows 7 on the side and run Ubuntu. And when you actually start your computer, it'll actually give you the option to either boot in Windows or boot in Ubuntu. So I could do that to my MacBook also if I wanted to. The cool thing about Mac software is I can download, Mac OS, and I can install it on something that's compatible on it. So, guys, I hate my freaking glasses, by the way. I feel like my glasses are always crooked. I'm probably like the only one that really notices that. I guess because I'm looking at myself, that's why. But you put, I don't want to pay for a new OS for it, or I don't want to pay for a new OS. So you put, I have a $800 laptop, but it has no OS, and you don't want to pay for it. So should we root our phones? Hey, what's up, Asa Shama? I'm not really talking about phones right now, but if you have an Android phone that basically, is rootable, do it. It gives you a lot more options. It gives you a lot more leeway. You can overclock the RAM on it, etc., like that. And you can do a lot of different things. I've never really rooted a cell phone, to be honest. Even back in the early Android days, I never really rooted one of the Android phones. I just really didn't see the need for it. You didn't really need to, but I mean, unless you want to download custom ROMs, that's fine. But again, so Rob Crabtree says he spent $800 on a laptop, but it has no OS. So hold on, Rob. My question to you is, how do you spend $800 on a laptop and it have no operating system whatsoever? Like, where was the mentality there when you bought it? And Ashish, I'm sorry if I'm not saying your name right. I'm glad you're watching. Please, if you like my video, give it a thumbs up, man. I'm assuming you're from India. Maybe, I'm not sure. I've had maybe a few fans follow me from India. So you got it at a pawn shop on sale. So is the laptop itself worth $800, or you bought it for $100? Well, if you're running Windows 7 right now on the current PC that you're using, you could actually download, find a version of Windows 7 that you can download online and make it bootable to a USB drive. And it's possible. It's very simple. I've done it before. But once you do that, you could actually, what I would do is I would screenshot the product key that you have on your current computer, which is, again, sometimes Windows will allow you to use that product key like more than once. So you can use it like on 5 different systems, just depending. But again, you can actually use that product key to boot up that version of Windows 7. Okay, so that's a recommendation. Okay, so you put like the video, and I'm from Australia, but I'm half Indian. You can call me Ash. Hey, what's up, Ash? Okay, so that's cool, man. You're from Australia. You'd probably be the first person I meet from Australia. So right now, I'm actually in the United States. I am in Texas, South Texas to be exact. So I'm glad that I'm actually getting fans from like not just parts of the US and like Canada and Mexico, but like India, the UK, Australia, which is really cool. I hope to build a fan base worldwide, but I can't do it without you guys. I need subscribers. I need people to like my videos. I need people to share my videos. If you guys have Twitter or social media, please get on and share my video, especially if you guys like to talk about tech. I really, if that's one thing that I like about this YouTube channel, it's that I love talking about tech. It's just something that it's never going to go away. And my YouTube channel name is Budget Tech Reviews, and I currently am finding cheap ways to to have a really good product, you know. So even though I spent like $1,200 on this MacBook Pro that I'm using, like now I'm gonna go and look for an alternative way to basically, you know, get, you know, build a computer or PC and then do it from there. You know what I mean? Right now I'm actually on a forum website that shows you how to that teaches you how to build Hackintoshes. So I'm trying to see if anyone responded to my post here. I'm on what's called insanelymac.com forums, and you know they have a lot of information here on, you know, building the Hackintoshes. So again, I'm just, you know, I'm reading through it. You know, I've been reading through it. I've been kind of seeing what's compatible, what is and what's not. Right now, the question I asked on the forum was, there's a new version of the i3 that came out that's a little cheaper than the one that they are recommending that I buy for the motherboard. But again, I don't know if this i3 processor, which is a quad core, is compatible with the motherboard that I want to buy, which it probably is. But you know, I don't want to waste money on it and then it not work. You know what I mean? Especially because like I don't know if the seller is going to allow returns, etc., like that. So Rob Crabtree put, okay, you looked it up and that's what it was selling for many eBellers. Interesting. So that's good that you got an $800 laptop cheap. But again, you know, it shouldn't cost you that much to go and get like a cheap copy of Windows 7. I mean, you might be able to like just get a free product key or something like that online. Just by looking up stuff. Just use Google, man. I mean, honestly, I mean, you might be able to run a bootleg version of Windows on it also. Might not run the same, but still, you know, just make sure you stay away from like updates and your laptop should run fine. You said, I want to build a PC, but I'm not sure. Should I? Because I already have a PS4 and it's quite hard to build one. At least that's what I have heard. And you can tell me you have build between $800. So I can tell you right now, Ash, that, you know, you don't have to spend $800 to build a good PC. You know, there's plenty of like tutorials online on you know, on how to either, you know, build a good budget PC. You know, if you want to game on it, that's a different thing, you know, because, you know, GPUs or graphic cards are going to cost you probably just about as much as building the entire computer, because GPUs get the job done when you guys are gaming. But, you know, me, I'm not a gamer. So, you know, that's really why I feel like, you know, a lot of computer builds or custom computer builds are really expensive because people they add expensive GPUs. So the one that I'm building is going to have an internal graphics card on board with the motherboard that I'm buying. So I don't have to worry about buying a graphics card, at least not right now. I don't have to. It's optional though. You know what I mean? There are a lot of good headsets under $50 out there, by the way. You play Flash games, that's also, you don't really even download games to your computer then, or like, I don't know if you run off like Microsoft's gaming store or whatever, where you can like actually play like Xbox Live games on your PC. But you know, there's just a lot of different little things that you can do. Flash games are obviously web enabled games that you can play on your web browsers, etc., like that as well. But you know, it really just depends. You know, Ash, you know, if I were you, man, I would actually look for like an older model, like Dell PC or like whatever. It doesn't matter what brand. Something that's maybe about like 5 years old. Something that you can basically upgrade yourself without having to break the bank. So if you look at my videos right now, the past few ones, I'm actually updating an old PC that I've had for like 10 years already. And just all I've done is swap out the hard drive with an SSD, and I put in a new CPU, which is like the chip that has the processor in it. And so far it's running like 10 times better. You know, right now I'm still waiting on a graphics card to come in, but so far I've spent less than $100 on those upgrades. So, you know, you don't have to spend a lot of money. You know, there's a lot of older computers out there that you can just basically update. You just really need to know what's compatible with the motherboard. But I would say get anything that has DDR3 or up when it comes to the RAM, you know, because some motherboards actually have like 4 slots for RAM. But, you know, I mean, most motherboards can only take max like 16 gigs of RAM also, just depending on the motherboard. Like if you're a Mac person, like the new Mac Pro has like 128 gigabytes of RAM. Okay. Like, I don't know anyone that would need that much RAM, like, but again, if you're into heavy video editing and stuff like that, performance is going to be like very optimized for it, because you're going to see very little to no lag. Okay, I need to clean my PC, but I'm too lazy to take off the side panel. Man, Rob, you are becoming my favorite fan here on YouTube. But on that, it's really not that hard. I mean, you just have to go to Walmart or Best Buy, buy one of those little air dusters, unscrew the back, make sure you pop one of the sides off, and then just blow out all the air. Do not use any type of screwdrivers that are magnetized, or get them close to the motherboard, because you will fry the motherboard. Okay, that's one thing that I need to let you guys know now, that the motherboard will be fried. So be careful when using a screwdriver on your motherboard. Okay, it's you have to be super, super, super careful. I can't stress that enough. But anyway, so your opinion on Apple is, I think Apple is shit. Okay, I think it'll be easier to buy parts and tell someone else to build it. So if you know someone that knows how to build computers and it's cheaper for you to buy the parts and do it, then do it. Me, even though I'm not super, super tech savvy, I know enough to build a computer, because I've taken apart computers back in my day, and I've put them back together, and I know what to look for in the components, etc., like that. So it's really not that hard. But at the same time, if you're willing to learn, then do it. If not, then it's really up to you. You know what I mean? I am running on a Mac right now, by the way. So, my opinion on Mac has changed since I've been using Mac for the past 4 years already. 4 or 5 years I've been using Mac OS. So, and the reason being is because the performance is just second to none when it comes to, what day-to-day use. I've had Windows computers in the past, and the performance after a while just, tends to disappoint. You know what I mean? But again, PCs have gotten better. It's 2018. It's not 2008 anymore. So a lot of Windows computers and builds, are the ones that are selling, are getting more expensive. Maybe like 5 years ago, when I would go to Best Buy, I would see, towers go between like $200 and like $500. Now towers are like going back up in price, $700 to $1,000. It's crazy. Same thing for laptops. If you wanted a nice cheap laptop, I mean, you could spend maybe like $200 to $300 on a cheap laptop, but now again, they're starting to skyrocket in price, and that just tells me that one, the technology is getting better, and two, the speed of these PCs or laptops or whatever you want to call them is going up. So the internals are getting more expensive to make, and it's because performance is basically key nowadays. Like everyone has to have a good performing CPU. Depending on what you do. Now, if all you do is just internet browse and whatever, then you can buy a cheap PC or a laptop. It doesn't matter. But if you're a guy like Rob who likes to game or something like that, then yeah. So again, it's not about being rich. I mean, because I'm not rich. I'm probably like lower middle class. I don't even know if there's something there to talk about. But whatchamacallit, I don't make too much money, but thank God for credit cards, because if it wasn't for a credit card, I probably wouldn't have been or student loans. When I was going to school, I actually used my student loan money to buy this MacBook Pro. So it's not that I had money when I bought it. I was just very fortunate to buy it when I did, because I got it on sale. But again, it really just depends on the person. Ash, if I would tell you right now, though, that don't be a judge, or don't judge a book by its cover until you actually read the book. Okay. And when I say that is, if you don't like Macs because they're expensive, I hate that Macs are expensive. You know what I mean? I feel the exact same way. I do feel that Macs are a little overpriced, but once you use a Mac, it's hard to go back to PC. Again, I've had this MacBook Pro that I'm using for 4.5 years already. Since 2014. It's almost 2019, and this thing is still running great. You know what I mean? I have no problems with it. I mean, I can probably keep this laptop for another 5 years, and it probably would still run decent, as long as I don't have, as long as I don't install extensive amount of like software. Given that this hard drive is only like 120, it's only 120 gig hard drive on it. So Ash is saying I like to game a lot. That is one of the most main reasons why I want to buy. And I mean that I could probably get a better PC by building it. And my friend told me that it's not the food for gaming. Okay, it's not good for gaming. So yeah, for some people, obviously gaming isn't really a thing for Mac users. It's possible to game on Mac. I was telling some users earlier that you could actually run Windows on a Mac as well. By either partitioning the hard drive and just running, Windows on it, or you can obviously just, get Parallels and run Parallels desktop off of it, and you can still play games. You still get the same performance. The only thing that you might not get is the GPU performance out of it, which is, how the game looks, etc., like that, and the performance of the game. But other than that, I mean, that's probably one thing why people try to stay away from Macs. Again, I'm not a huge gamer. The reason why I like and use Macs are because I do video editing, especially for my YouTube channel, and it's just so much easier to edit with a Mac. Like, I have never really used like softwares like Adobe Premiere with Windows, but I might. Who knows? That's not to say I might not try it. I might try it. Who knows? I mean. I really want to try Adobe Premiere once I update this PC over here, just to kind of get the feel of it and see how it is. So we'll see how that goes. Thanks, Ash. I mean, I appreciate you watching my video, man. I appreciate you coming by. Please subscribe. I'm trying to upload more videos. Right now I'm trying to get more of a following. So please like the video, please subscribe to me, and hit that notification bell also, because that notification bell will let you know when I get a new video. So the more followers I have, the more I can keep content creating. I want to keep doing videos, whether it be reviews or PC upgrades or whatever, building a Hackintosh. I want to just get out there and start doing more for my YouTube channel. And I want to keep I want to keep building an audience. I think that's one thing, because I do want to, one day I do want to become a full-time YouTuber. And I can't do that without all of you. So you guys who are here right now, even though I have 7,000 subscribers, are a small fan base that I do have. So I really appreciate it. And I really appreciate that you guys, like, comment, and share. If you don't like the video, be honest, like say, hey, I don't like it. But at the same time, give me constructive criticism. Like, don't be rude. Because I'm not perfect when it comes to making videos. I'm not perfect when it comes to, editing videos. Also, I have my flaws, even though I'm trying to get better. I'm no Marquez, or I'm no, Unbox Therapy, or, other YouTubers out there that, I'm trying to get on that level one day. Maybe in the next couple of years, my video editing will go from like here to here. But until then, just be patient with me, and we'll go from there. Well, right now I finally actually enabled Super Chat on here, Rob. So I'm actually considering getting what's called a Patreon. I don't know if you've heard of that, but they work with YouTubers, I think, and it's built. You can build a fan base that actually will like donate money and etc. like that. And I don't know exactly like if I'm comfortable with using Patreon just yet. Because it's basically like your YouTube channel is funded off of fans. So, I don't know if I want to put that into my fans' hands, because, I don't want you to feel like you're not getting your money's worth, especially, if you want to donate to my YouTube channel. Hey, Rob, that's okay, man. I mean, if you want to donate, you can. If you don't want to, that's okay. I don't want you to throw money at me just because, but that's pretty cool that, some people are willing to donate money out there. So, whether it be, for a Hackintosh or whatever. I mean, if I were to get 350 people to watch, and I had each person donate $1 to me for the Hackintosh build, I could build a Hackintosh like that, But again, a lot of this stuff I'm paying out of pocket, guys, and I'm doing it on my own. So, I'm like, I do it for the love of technology, obviously. I do it for the love of, wanting to, learn and do these type of things. So let's just keep it going. All right, Ash, I will see you later, buddy. Rob, thanks for staying with me. It's already 1 a.m. where I am. I got 5 viewers, and we're just chatting about whether you prefer PC or Macs, and I'm talking about building Hackintosh computer also. So if you are into Hackintoshes, if you don't know what a Hackintosh is, it's basically a PC build with Mac OS installed. Okay, guys. So, and again, the reason why I want to do that is because I want to possibly sell my MacBook Pro as well, because I know I can probably still get a good like $700 to $800 for it, even though it's a 4-year-old laptop. It's still a laptop that people want because they don't make it anymore, and two, it's still upgradable. You can still get into the laptop and upgrade it, and that's not something that I want to do. At least I don't want to. At least I mean, I could look up tutorial videos on like adding more RAM and processor, etc., like that. But I don't know if I want to spend it because Mac hardware is very expensive as well, guys. Rob says I want to get a tech channel, but I have the money to buy the products. But you don't have the money, or you do have the money. So on that, Rob, again, it sounds to me like you're a young kid, maybe like 15 or 16, who, you say you don't have a debit card and stuff like that. So I'm assuming you don't have a job. That's just, me though, obviously, but, once you turn 16, man, if your parents allow you to, get a job. I mean, just, at your local grocery store or whatever. So you do want to get a tech channel, or you don't? Okay, so anyway, I'm just assuming that you're 16 years old. I'm not sure if you are or not. But if your parents allow you to get a job, so you do have a job, or you don't have a job, okay. Anyway, going back to that, so if you're young and you want to get started on a YouTube channel, it's not easy, guys. Again, I don't really remember how I got this YouTube channel started. I just reviewed an old phone that I had back from like 5 years ago, and people started watching my videos, and I actually gained a following because of it. And it was something that was kind of weird, new to me at the time. Right now, again, I'm still building my YouTube channel, and I think it's interesting that like, more and more people are liking my channel, but at the same time, I feel like it's hard. So you don't have a job, but you do want a tech channel. So, Rob, you don't have to do anything hard to start a tech channel, man. You just have to put a video together, and you just have to get it going. If you have something old that you want to review, like an old phone or an old laptop or a PC, like the one that you say that doesn't have an OS on it, do a video on it, man. Like, I mean, just, take the video with your cell phone. Make sure you have enough memory on your cell phone, obviously, because some videos take time to put together. Don't worry about any fancy editing or anything like that. You can learn all that later. Right now, just worry about getting a following. You already have the YouTube channel, obviously, because you're chatting here with me. So once you do that, just upload the video and share it on Twitter. Share it on if you're on certain forums, like PC forums or Android forums or whatever iOS forums. Go share the video. And share it here. If you want, I'll subscribe to your channel, dude. Like, I'm all for supporting like smaller YouTube channels. So how can you guys hear me? Are you guys hearing me okay, by the way? Like, I don't know how this is working. Gaming channels are not easy, I'll tell you that much. I mean, you can tell like because I've tried gaming on my YouTube channel, and it's not easy. I mean, it's really, to me, it's kind of hard to play the game and be interactive with like so many people. Because I like to focus on the game. Like, I don't really like to be chit chatting while I'm trying to get killed or something like that. So you put, I use the built recording feature on your PS4. So if you have the PS4 camera like I do, and it does have a recording feature, do use it. I'm not too familiar with that. But again, like, I don't know, like, I know you can download the YouTube app on the PS4 also. Maybe you can live stream with your PS4 camera as well. I mean, something simple, man. Just do it. Again, YouTube's not hard to get into, man. You just got to do it. Again, once you start building a fan base and you get enough videos and views, you can actually start earning money by placing ads on your videos. And again, that's not really once you have the amount of subscribers that you're supposed to have and the amount of hours watched, it's simple. I'm lucky that I was able to monetize my videos early on, that I didn't have to use these new requirements on it. You put I used an old headset I had to record. Well, I mean, whatever you got to do, I mean, you can use an old headset to connect it to your controller so you can get better sound quality as well. It's hot in here, guys, but I usually have my shirt off, and I'm not going to do that live, obviously, because I just don't. But guys, I mean, if you're a fan of PCs, stick to PCs. If you have the money to purchase a Mac and you want to throw out like $2 to $5 grand on a decked out Mac, then do it also. You know what I mean? I mean, again, the one thing that I can tell you guys about Macs are they work. I mean, there's nothing difficult about knowing that. People that have iPads, iPhones, Apple MacBooks or whatever, the cool thing about it is they're all integrated with each other. So like, you can send files from one thing to another instantaneously. It's really simple. AirDrop feature, Bluetooth or whatever, your account as well. You can jump from one account to the other, and iCloud basically saves everything, to, the cloud. So if you want to see pictures on your laptop or iPad and it's linked up, you can still view the same pictures. It doesn't matter. You put I sound like I'm 12 in those vids. I tried news channel with my friend, and the next day was the worst day. My friend got hit by a car. Ooh, Ash, I thought you left. What happened? But anyway, that stinks, Ash. I mean, I hope your friend's okay. But again, guys, don't be afraid to, if you're interested in starting up a YouTube or a tech channel, do it. The thing about it is like there's so many YouTube channels out there and tech channels, but one thing that I can tell you is if you're consistent and people like your videos, you'll gain a following. Like again, right now, I have 73 or 7,400 subscribers on my channel. But realistically, like only like maybe like a few hundred people actually follow me on my channel. So anytime I upload a video or something like that, it gets very minimal views unless it's a really good video that people are searching. Right now my most viewed video in the past year is the TCL Roku TV that I bought last year, and it's still surprisingly getting a lot of hits, even though new TVs are coming out. That's a TV that they're still selling. So people are still watching my review video, even though like it's a 7 or 8 minute video, and I'm surprised people like even watch that far. Like I'm really shocked that people watch that far into the video, because I'll see them comment about something, and I'm like, wow, that's like 7 minutes into the video, like that they mentioned that. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, wow, Mac is great for editing, but is shit for gaming. Well, yeah, I mean that's not untrue, but again, you can still game on a Mac. It really just depends. What you're trying to play, and they actually sell these little dock ports that you can purchase for the Mac that has like a graphics card installed, and you can actually play like games basically with that. And I've seen like side comparison videos where like someone's using a MacBook Pro with that thing, and they're using it against like a PC build, and the MacBook Pro usually wins all the time in all of its performances, at least. So your best vid is the Moto G 2nd Gen Lollipop upgrade. Yeah, that's my highest viewed vid, but it hasn't really jumped up in videos or in views. That was like, I did that video like 5 years ago already, dude. Even though that's like my most viewed video, my current most viewed is that TV that it's getting up there. It's already like at 170,000 hits. And if people keep looking at it, which I know during the holidays, more people are going to look at that video, it's just going to continue to go up. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, I don't know. Okay, so Rob Crabtree says you can play Flash games with that in 4K 60 hertz. So yeah, I mean, again, I don't know if you're referring to the Mac or PC builds, but regardless, I mean, I don't think 4K is really necessary for gaming. It is for like higher end games, I guess. But to me, like, I mean, I'm happy with 720 or 1080p games because the frame rate isn't as high, and you're not getting as much lag because of it. I'm still like a fan of like Xbox 360 and PS2 games over here, guys. Okay, so You know, I feel like the newer games, you know, even though they're really good and they're so crisp and sharp, you know, it's not the same compared to like gaming from 10 years ago. You know what I mean? Obviously, you know, games have gotten a lot better, but it's really just depends. PS2 was great, and you know what's cool about the PS2? It actually output games in I think 1080p. So if you had a 1080p TV, you could actually play games in 1080p, which is awesome. Although I don't know if all the games were in 1080 or the resolution at least, but anyways, guys, it's getting late. I only have like 2 viewers left, so I'm thinking about ending this video already. Do you guys have any last comments before you go, so I can maybe make a few remarks before I sign off? Because I am sleepy. It's getting late. It's already 1 o'clock in the morning here, and I've already been live for a pretty good flat hour. What is my opinion on the Nintendo Wii? Wow, that is a really this is a really random question. So the original Wii came out back in 2008. I want to say it's already 2018. That was like 10 years ago. So since then, the Wii U and the Nintendo Switch have come out. I think at the time the Nintendo Wii was very innovative, and it's kind of changed the way you see gaming, especially for Nintendo games. You know what I mean? I mean, if you see how the Switch and the Nintendo Wii U are, you basically I mean, they're built off how the original Wii was running, and again, it ran the games really good. I mean, I know you could also mod them to play hacked games on them as well. So at the time, again, you know, very innovative. I had a Nintendo Wii. I had a Wii U also. But again, I don't have the Switch. I think I plan on buying it later on in the year when the new Pokemon game comes out. We'll see how that goes. I don't know. If I decide to buy it, we'll see. But again, right now, I'm just waiting on that. Right now, I'm more interested in building this Hackintosh and just taking care of that. But again, my opinion on the Wii was it was a good console for its time. You know, I really only played Smash and Mario Kart on it. I didn't really play a lot of other games, even though there was a lot of like downloadable games that you could play for the console. But the one thing I hated about it was like that you had to buy so many attachments just to, you know, play games on it, and it was really annoying. Like I don't even remember who or when I sold my Wii. I think I sold it on eBay with like all the games that I had. I had like 5 or 6 games, and I had like that control that had the analog sticks on it also. So it was pretty cool. I thought it was cool that you could use like GameCube controls on it also. And I still think it's cool that like basically like the Wii U and like the Switch are basically still have like control units for the original GameCube control, because that's like the best control to use for like Smash. So anyway, man, that's my thoughts on the Nintendo Wii. And Rob, thanks for sticking with me this entire time, man. You're a true fan of Budget Tech Reviews. And, you know, if you start up a YouTube channel, let me know, man. Message me on Facebook. Send me the link to your videos, and I'll go ahead and watch, man. But again, this is Mike from BTR Budget Tech Review signing off, brother. You have a good night, guys. And if you watched this far, I will see you guys on the next video, okay? So thank you again. We'll see you next